Welcome to FemVids Ultimo. I'm Alicia Evans.
And I'm Sean Rolls. This time we take a look at August, September and October 2017.
We're putting a focus on International Day of Peace across the Pacific, the inaugural National Convention of the Fiji Women's Forum and the Fiji Young Women's Forum, and the 13th Triennial Conference of Pacific Women and the 6th meeting of Pacific Ministers for Women.
But first, from early August, FemLink was in Tonga as the GPPAC Pacific Secretariat to convene a civil society consultation with the Talitha Project.
Peace is not just a statement, it's not just a word, but is an act that leaders and people in the community, at home, in our country need to act upon. This is how young Tongan women are defining peace for themselves, their families and their communities.
15 young women and girls came together for a human security peace education consultation led by FemLink Pacific in collaboration with the Talitha Project.
The consultation was part of the regional gender-inclusive conflict prevention and human security program of the Global Partnership for the Prevention of Armed Conflict Pacific, supported by the Pacific Islands Forum Non-State Actors Program, funded by the European Union.
Not only did we have the privilege of engaging with such well-spoken and empowered young women, but you can also hear what they have to say for yourself when you watch Women's Peace Tables.
Yes, our International Day of Peace film launched in Fiji, as our other Pacific sisters commemorated the day as well.
There was 35 young girls from different high school. Majority it's Takoilau College. There's a Catholic church school, and Queen Salode College. It's the only girls schools in Tonga, in Tonga High School, and Beulah College, and Liahona. And there's another two schools. They've been registered to our camp, and we're so happy because the thing is, lots of young girls, or most of the young girls, this is the first time to attending to a camp. The camp was between 13 to 16 years old. They all attending to the camp, so they are that age. For me and my general views, is the most vulnerable one. We have to equip and empower them to give them information, because right from the first day of camp, the first activity that we do, that we are the one running the first session talking about violence. And lots of them, but for me, majority of them, they didn't know what violence is, what types and forms of violence, how they gonna solve the violence when it comes to domestic, sexual and stuff.
What we did back at home with the International Peace Day, we give invitation. We invited the chiefs to we call the Nakamal session. In Nakamal session, like back in Fiji, it's called Talanoa. So we invited them to hear what they think of us, what young women we're doing, like in advocating in gender equality. I grew up in a chiefly family. My grandfather is a chief, and when it comes to Talanoa session like Nakama, my grandma has the right to sit beside my grandpa when he's talking about community problem. Village problems or issues. Mm-hmm. So she has the right to drink grog with him too. Mm-hmm. So it gives us a picture of we have different cultures, and sometimes, like when we take it back to the Nakamals, sometimes some women and some girls, they have the right to talk, like they can share the issues in the Nakamals, and some they don't have the right to. So like when we were advocating about gender inequality and all the issues that we see, and this year we decided to make a different activity for the International Peace Day. Is we see that the chiefs are important back in our country and in our community and in our villages. And we see that they are the ones that they're the ones that have the responsibility, and like they're the ones that they're the boss. If you want to go through this place, you want to go through this island or through this community to do whatever you want to do, awareness, or do like you go there for public speaking or anything, you have to go through them first.
So we did our radio program, which we interviewed women's voices, and we had them documented also for the radio program, and a bit on the 1325. And the whole celebration happened on Orange Day, which is the Monday the 25th of September. And that is when we made Voice visible by me presenting a story about the Voice's journey in its way to make peace, and its way in by involving in a tangible thing that was responding to women's views over the years. And that was by the production of a digital video on it's called the Breaking the Culture of Silence, Strong, Brave Solomon Islands Women Telling Their Stories. And it was launched by Voice Plumere in partnership with UN Women. And that was how we celebrated the International Peace Day. And we also talked about the Uniting for Peace and what it meant to Voice as an organization. And it was a big celebration that was attended by about 63 women and men who came to that activity. And it was co-sponsored by FemLink and UN Women.
How exciting! So for more, you can always check out the updates on our website.
We managed to catch up with our partners in Vanuatu, Solomon Islands and Tonga during the 13th Triennial Conference of Pacific Women and the 6th meeting of the Pacific Ministers for Women.
Let's check it out!
Here we are at the 13th Triennial, and today is Wednesday, and it's a transition from the 13th Triennial Conference into the 6th meeting of Pacific Ministers for Women. That opening is happening tonight, but for now we're talking to civil society representatives who are here at the Triennial as to what is the vision that they want to see, what is the change and the achievements that they want to be reporting in 2030.
By end of 2030, my hope is for the government to be, have laws in place that is it's enabling women to be able to run their own business, because economic development, it will address a lot of issues.
And I would like to see the markets, international markets, brought onto people's doorstep to improve the economy. I mean, we've tried, even though we are rich in other mineral resources, but we bring companies in to extract our logs, to extract the mines, to extract the land, but we haven't seen any improvements with infrastructure development and all this.
Well, I hope my government will report on many things that we talk about, the challenges, the gaps, the gender inequalities that we face. I know it's too broad, but if I have to specifically say out, I would love that all women of all diversity would have to express freely or contribute freely to the development of the nation as well as the individuals.
Well, I would like to see the gender equality be defined and be implemented the way it should be done, and like I mentioned before, to get away from that gender binary. But we need this when they talk about implementation. They need to talk about the reality of what's happening, of what has happened. What have they done to inclusive of the LGBT people in Tonga, and not just talking about men and women.
A few of the things that I would really appreciate for the government of Fiji and also in the Pacific would achieve by 2030 is, foremost, is equal participation of women in decision-making process, like not only from national level, but starting from community to national and the global.
By 2030, my vision for Papua New Guinea is to see that a lot of young women's leadership trainings be carried out in schools, not only those that are just for females, young women schools, but for both genders. So yeah, I'd like to see that a lot in the schools, because I think it's about time we start talking about politics with young women so that they can learn how to persist and claim that space once they're ready.
I want to see women and girls with disability to stand up in the parliament, to voice out and see the needs of the other women with disabilities still coming up, even the children that's still coming up, and also to take that leadership and in the way that to see that all women are equal, men and women are equal.
I have too many visions, but yeah, hopefully by 2030 I'll be able to see more young women be included in like decision-making processes in the parliament maybe.
So it's been more than a month and I'm still tired.
Well, between the preps, we were also celebrating the humanitarians of Women's Weather Watch.
Yes, rural women leaders and first responders in their communities.
Rural women leaders who continue their work despite under-resourcing, a lack of recognition within formal governance structures, and just a huge glass ceiling.
Speaking of glass ceilings and smashing through it, it was one of the talking points of the National Convention and the Fiji Young Women's Forum 4.
Particularly in the context of Fiji's 2013 Constitution, its implications and commitments.
Over 100 women of all diversities turned out to the national consultation to learn, share and discuss.
The deliberations during the plenary sessions are available on our SoundCloud, and updates, the outcomes document and vision statement, as well as a statement from young women leaders, are also available.
The 50 young women leaders who collaborated on a vision statement that built on the outcomes of the convention as well as defined the future that they want to see.
And as we come to a close, it's time for a quick-fire FemTalk 89 FM fact articulating time.
Fact articulating time?
Lightning round!
So what's on air on FemTalk 89 FM?
Ask a Lawyer is live, answering rural women leaders' legal questions.
We have a brand new series called Her Excellency.
And we were also in the thick of the FTUC March held this past month, so check it out.
And we've extended hours for FemTalk 89 FM Lambasa, so tune in from 9 AM to 5 PM every weekday.
And together with the 24/7 Suva station, that's more than 800 hours of airtime dedicated to gender equality and human security a month.
That's a lot of hours.
And that's pretty much it for this episode, but let's continue the conversation.
Tweet at us, send us a message on Facebook, email, fax, call. Information all in the description of the video.
Thanks so much for watching this edition of FemVids Ultimo. I'm Sean Rolls.
And I'm Alicia Evans. We'll see you next time.